When BET founder Bob Johnson created the network 8 decades into the 20th century, he foresaw a future where Black Americans could gather around and experience the best of Black entertainment in all its glory. Noticing a disparaging lack of accolades given to America's top trendsetters, the network cultivated an award show of its own, celebrating Black culture in all areas. What has now been deemed the EBT Awards. Believe it or not, the annual B.E.T. Awards was once an honorary Black national holiday, penetrated by the industry's highest-ranked Black celebrities, filled with prestige, surprises, and excitement. But within the last few years, we've seen a drastic decline in the award show, not just in viewership, but in quality, stars, and overall entertainment. From a cultural renaissance serving its best players to a hood banquet catering to D-list rappers and all of their baby mamas, we the people want to know what in the world happened to the B.E.T. Awards. Can y'all believe it's been nearly 20 years since Monique shook her bunta cakes to Beyonce's Crazy in Love? You had to be there, either in physical attendance or watching via television. And best believe, back in the early aughts, there was no ands, ifs, or buts about whether or not you were watching the annual ceremony. Whether you were at the park, the food market, the clinic, school, heck, even the welfare office, one thing was for certain. Whatever little task you needed to get done best be finished before 8 p.m. Eastern, or we were ready to nuck and buck. Arguably considered the Super Bowl of Black television, when BET joined the other television networks, needless to say, it caused quite the controversy. Noticing a lack of pigment, season, and recognition within the entertainment industry, Bob Johnson got the radical idea to create a network aimed at the African American community. Rallying up his co-founder, aka his wife Sheila Johnson, CEO Deborah Lee, president of music programming Stephen Hill, and an all-star loyal team to oversee and steer the network against the currents others were overlooking. With you, the viewers, as co-captains, BET rose from the ashes of Bob Johnson's mind to the concrete of DC and abroad, becoming a cult staple along the way. Along the way, and way out of the way, BET serves as a destination hotspot for Black American media, riling up the other communities just by merely existing. It hadn't been till year 2000 that the network sought to create an award show catered to its main audience, and by 2001, the BET Awards made its television debut, hosted by two-thirds of the kings of comedy, Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. Held at the Las Vegas Resort on the Las Vegas Strip, the first ever BET Awards started out with a bang. DC3, Destiny's Child, opened the ceremony sporting matching vibrant two-piece pink French get-ups, topped off with cowboy hats and Michael Jackson-inspired moves, with a young Solange blending in as a backup dancer. The girls were even nominated for several awards and took home the award for Best Female Group. The Dirty South Innovators, known as Outkast, took home the event's first ever award. Performances from Usher, Sisqó, Jay-Z, Patti LaBelle, and more graced the stage, as well as Luther Vandross and a young Christina Aguilera, who both contributed their talents to the award's Lifetime Achievement Award segment, which was inhabited by the one and only Whitney Houston. This was also the same year Whitney was on One and hippity-hopped and skipped across the stage. Its first show raked in around 5 million viewers, with its second attempt in 2002 decreasing to 4 million. Uprooting from Viva Las Vegas to its permanent residence in Los Angeles, it wouldn't be till 2003 that the cultural revolution continued over at the Dolby Theater, this time hosted by the original fat girl, fat with a PH, Monique. This ignited the flame that torched the awards for years to come. Starting off with a bang, Monique did her best dance rendition of Beyonce's Crazy in Love, which was met with a standing ovation from the crowd, including Bey herself, who was more than ecstatic to see Mo shake some to her song. Greatness was surely in the room that night, including James Brown, who'd been given the Lifetime Achievement Award. Surprises after surprises were in the building, as the legend himself, Michael Jackson, shocked the audience and viewers at home when he came out to honor James Brown, and like HOV's prophecy on Beyonce's Crazy in Love, we surely did witness history in the making. This was also the same year that Beyoncé transformed into the permanent star she was always destined to be. Her first ever solo performance, apart from Destiny's Child, took place right there at the 3rd annual BET Awards. All of us witnessed Beyoncé shed her girl group image and break out into the living legend she is today. And to think, it all began right there on the BET stage. However, it's been 7 years since her last stellar BET performance, and from how the awards show has been operating in recent years, we can't say we aren't surprised that Bey hasn't showed up to critically acclaimed EBT awards since. In the words of Nene Leakes, "Woo child, the ghetto." Following the sudden death of the King of Pop, the 2009 award show took place on June 28, just 3 days after Michael was pronounced dead due to an overdose of propofol intoxication, supervised by his in-home doctor, Conrad Murray. And although the world was saddened by the news, we were all eager to see what the BET Awards had in store due to its overzealous promotion of promises to honor the king himself, writing on their official website, "With the untimely passing of an incomparable legend, the 2009 BET Awards will be shifting gears to honor the late Michael Jackson and his contributions to not only the music industry, but to the entire world. His loss is a difficult one to accept, and BET will do its part to ensure that his legacy lives on." The 2009 BET Awards will be dedicated to the life, legacy, and legend of music icon Michael Jackson. Over 10 million viewers tuned in to see the show, and a tearful Chris Brown, who'd just been ostracized by the masses for beating Rihanna like a bongo drum, was overwhelmed during the tribute. Janet herself even made a surprise appearance towards the end of the show, giving a heartfelt speech in honor of her late brother. Since that night, the BET Awards hasn't been able to maintain their ratings, the next year dropping over 3 million watchers. They were able to hold on to that 7 million mark for quite some time before we'd see a decrease in numbers, and by 2021, the ceremony reached an all-time low, reeling in just 1.7 million on the BET channel and 2.4 million across its many Paramount cumulative networks. Nicki Minaj even chimed in on the awards declination domino effect in 2019, telling her millions of Twitter followers, "When you go out of your way to be spiteful and hurt artists who have always supported your show, when you fire great people who have put their heart and soul into the show, when you'd rather be a messy reality show than a prestigious award show, when you're still being dragged by that lace." The tweet was in response to another tweet from another account claiming the awards ratings were officially in the toilet, after a tweet from the official BET Awards Twitter account threw the whole tree at Nicki by saying, "Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj is being dragged by her lace front," after Cardi B became the first woman to take home the Grammy for Best Rap Album as a solo artist. With the quickness, the barbs came to Nicki's defense, and the network issued an apology soon after for the hurt, disappointment, and confusion the tweet caused, stating that the post should have never been made. Which brings us to the question of the moment. What happened to the BET Awards? It appears Nicki wasn't too far off in that tweet after all. In the last 5 years or so, the BET Awards just hasn't been as poppin' as it once were. Matter of fact, BET as a whole has fallen off more than some of the artists than once had the pleasure of even touching the BET stage. Don't take our word for it, the data speaks for itself. BET just ain't what it used to be. In case you weren't aware, Black entertainment television hasn't been Black since the early 2000s. Ownership-wise, that is. Bob Johnson and his partners sold BET shareholdings to the large media group Viacom in 2001, the same year the BET Awards was established, for an estimated $3 billion, making he and his wife the first Black billionaires in America. He stayed with the network as chief executive officer up till 2005, and although he was no longer CEO, BET and its award shows were thriving, so much that it drew in the attention of other races. Now, it seems as if once a Black artist reaches crossover appeal, they pay the BET Awards dust and don't even bother showing up. Predictable, inconsistent, repetitive, check, and check. Back in the day, we'd get hit with more surprises and plot twists in an episode of Power. Now we'd be surprised if there were any surprises at all. The categories that once covered the entire spectrum of Black entertainment, from sports to film, TV shows, writing, and music, now only seems to cover just the music. And even the music itself has lost its magic. The categories themselves have been the subject of controversy quite a few times. Something about other races and cultures outside of Black American culture being nominated for a Black Entertainment Television Award just hasn't set right with some people. It all started in 2003, when Justin Timberlake was nominated for Best New Artist. Since then, other races dabbling in R&B, soul, hip-hop, and other music genres Black people created and still occupy, for now, have been nominated. From Justin Bieber, Iggy Azalea, Macklemore, and Ryan Lewis, who actually won an award for Best Rap Group in 2013, to Sam Smith, who won the Best New Artist Award in 2015. Between Changmo, a South Korean artist who was nominated in 2017, and even South Korean rapper Sik K, who was nominated in 2018, the B.E.T. Awards isn't a stranger to attempting to appeal to a wider audience. Along with its controversial nominees, production seems to have also drastically declined. It appears as though the actual overall presentation lacks passion, with the show feeling more lazily thrown together in its latter years. Along with the decline of production is a decline of talent. Yeah, we're about to go there. Where has all the talent gone? Now, we're not saying the newer artists lack talent altogether. However, we'd be lying if we said there isn't an obvious difference in how these new artists are getting down versus the artists of yesteryear. And before y'all start, no, this isn't a back in my day take. Artist development seems to be a thing of the past. Stage presence is at an all-time low, and nobody seems to be wowing the audience like they once did. Social media's so-called influencers and rapper baby mamas appear to have taken the focal point over the actual artists, and the genres have all gotten the big old boot in replace of hip-hop, and more hip-hop, with the recent awards show honing in on the celebration of the 50th year of hip-hop. Talking crap about the actual A-list celebs who make the ceremony what it is can also be thrown into the pot of contributions for the B.E.T. Awards decline. We all know what they said about Onika, which resulted in her and Young Money leaving B.E.T. in the unsung pits it fell in. But did y'all know what they was talking out here crazy about Beyonce's Baby Blue? And when we say they, we're talking about Karrueche Tran, who fixed her lips to make a disparaging comment about Grammy Award-winning Blue Ivy Carter's natural tresses. While guest hosting on 106 in Park's last redemption attempt, a discussion about Blue Ivy's appearance at the end of Beyonce's 2016 MTV VMA performance that happened that previous Sunday arose. I really did wake up like this because my parents never combed my hair. Karrueche jokes before apologizing and professing her love for Blue. Needless to say, the Bayhive wasn't here for Miss Tran speaking down on Blue, and took to Beyonce's internet to let her and BET have it. Karrueche was not trying to have her entire livelihood toyed with or her address doxed, and made sure to double down on her apology via social media. Stephen Hill took to his Twitter to apologize to Bey, and the Hive making sure to add that it wasn't Karrueche's fault by any means. Another huge suspect as to why the BET Awards just ain't what it used to be is of course the rise of social media and streaming platforms. Let's be honest, who watches TV anymore? All jokes aside, we know some of y'all still turn your TVs using a dial, no shade, but streaming platforms such as Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and even BET Plus have revolutionized the way people consume media. With the convenience of on-demand content and a vast library of movies and TV shows, viewers have shifted their focus away from traditional television. Social media has empowered fans to have a more active role in shaping the entertainment landscape. With the ability to voice their opinions and preferences, fans can influence the success or failure of artists and award shows. This shift in power has diminished the significance of the BET Awards, as fans can now promote their favorite artists and celebrate their achievements on social media platforms instead of relying on these traditional award shows. Example being how, despite a 2.4 million viewership rating at the 2021 award show on cable, the social streets were hot, drawing in 10.2 million social interactions, even dominating Twitter's trending topics. Also, with the rise of social media, celebrities have been more accessible than ever before. It's gotten to a point where instead of yearning for your favorite celeb to hit you back on the gram, Twitter, or duet with you on a clock app, people have lost interest in interacting with them at all. With some, it's like, dang, do you live on social media? Sharing their every thought, move, even what they ate for breakfast that morning. Being able to wander and see what these celebrities are up to was only achievable via magazine articles, interviews, and you guessed it, award shows. All in all, Beyonce's internet has made it entirely too easy for us to interact with celebrities, resulting in our excitement for them to dwindle less and less. No wonder Bey don't be doing this whole internet thing like that, even if it is hers. Now that Deborah Lee, B.E.T's former CEO, and Stephen Hill, one of the most innovative executive producers the network ever had, amongst other very notable figures, made B.E.T what it is, have either retired or been fired, we may never get that spark the B.E.T network once had. In fact, it's gotten so tired that I bet you didn't even notice the lack of a host at this year's show. Structure, where is it? Yes, the BET Awards fell off faster than Jonathan Majors' mainstream career, but we'd be disingenuous to say that it's the only BET Awards that is experiencing this drought. Award show heavy hitters such as the AMAs, VMAs, the Oscars, and even the Grammys have all faced a similar fate. The Grammys especially has lost a lot of its credibility, not only with the Recording Academy's voters, but with the talent and submissions they allow in. The BET Awards was once a cultural celebration that held some level of prestige, class, and weight during a time where Black America was told that their creations, inventions, and innovations weren't held to the same caliber as other award ceremonies. Now, it more so resembles a low-budget high school assembly for at-risk students. Star power just isn't punching us repeatedly in the face like it used to. It went from an honorary Black national holiday to something you watch to pass time when you're bored. Maybe. Do you think the BET Awards actually fell off? Why or why not? And how do you think the award show can redeem itself? Let us know your thoughts and opinion down below in the comments, and stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.